Hello everybody, and I am back with my next video. What is this video all about? Am I going to discuss something about winter training program? Yes. If you remember, or if you would have seen my previous video wherein I had talked about the Winter Internship Program offered by LinuxWorld Informatics, in that I had mentioned that in my next video, that is in my upcoming video, I'll be describing about the various module packages which LinuxWorld is offering during this winters in detail. I'll be taking you again through the technicalities of each and every module package. So this is my first module package which I'm going to describe in detail. Where will I find that? Again, you go here in my linuxworldindia.org, you move towards this internship tab, winter industrial training, you move down. Yes, and here it is. The first is the module package, and the name is, what is it? It's something like, distributed computing using Big Data Hadoop implementation over Red Hat Linux platform. The name sounds to be very technical, that is how it is. So now, what is it? Preeti, what are you going to teach me in this? This is the first question. What I'm doing is like, I'll be distributing this entire thing into different parts, The first thing is distributed computing. What's the second thing is using Big Data Hadoop, and the implementation is over Red Hat Linux platform. So the first part I'll be talking about distributed computing, then about Big Data Hadoop, and then over the Red Hat Linux platform. Okay, before I proceed ahead, the first thing which would come up in your mind is like, is this training going to be only, kind of a theoretical classroom and someone teaching on the projector and you, just listening, ignorance and sab chal raha hai, on one end, one PPT going on and, yes, nodding your head as if you're understanding everything? Probably it is not going to be this way. These sessions would be inside a lab, a lab which is specifically designed keeping this module package into mind. So it's going to be a lab full of computers, you will be working on it, you'll be implementing things, everything will be practical. Your classroom will be with, one PC in front of you, and whatever will be taught to you in the classroom, you'll be implementing the same. So it's going to be a kind of, a combination of theoretical plus practical, because you'll be understanding the concepts and simultaneously you'll be implementing it. So that's how you get the real, working environment feel. Otherwise, it's going to be just like a normal college curriculum, wherein you just listening to things around and, chatting with your friends at the back, checking out your mobile phones. All these things will not be there in the classroom. I am very sure you will not get the opportunity of even, removing your mobile phone from your pockets. You'll be so busy with the implementation. It is going to be such an interactive session, you won't feel like doing that. Now, so let me get back to the technicalities about it. First thing which would come up in your mind is like, what is this distributed computing, Preeti? What do you mean by this? Let me explain you in the layman's language, as I always do in my videos. Say I'm working on a PC, or say I'm working on a laptop. Now if I have something to process, some data to be processed, what my the entire CPU and my RAM, whatever is the availability in my computer or my laptop, it has been used to process this. Now one computer or one PC might be restricted to, even with a good configuration, might be having some amount of RAM and all these things. Now say example, if I get huge amount of data, the name is like big data. So if I get huge amount of data, will my single PC or a single laptop would be able to serve me, will be able to come out with my conclusions? I'm not saying no, it will be, but then probably it will take you, months or probably years to process that data, and when I talk about huge data, obviously I'm not talking about data, in GB or something. I'm talking about data in PBs, Say, just giving an example in between, what do you believe, what's the data generation per day basis for Facebook? What do you believe? Just a guess or something like this? Something in GB? No idea. Trust me people, it's going to be somewhere around half PB per day. You can imagine processing so much of data, and if Facebook sits with just one computer or one laptop or one PC, probably it will not be even able to process the data within few months. So what happens is like, basically the same task is been given to various computers, various PCs, various laptops, and these PCs or laptops are called as nodes. Okay, so now what I'm going to use the word is going to be nodes. So now these nodes will be working for this task parallelly. So the same task is being performed by few nodes on a parallel front, and obviously the result is going to be quicker, faster, because instead of one there are few who's working in numbers for you. Now this is called as, this concept in a layman's language, a simple concept, is called as distributed computing, wherein many of them, the task is distributed amongst various of them and they're working for you. Again, now what are these various nodes coming together called as? This is called as a cluster of nodes. You know, cluster means various things coming together to perform. So this is called as cluster of nodes. In my program, you will be doing it, you'll be performing it on, you know, kind of a real cluster world, you know, you'll be performing every task on this. Now, again, the question goes back to, I spoke about what distributed computing is. Okay, what is big data? I told you, you know, huge data. Have you seen what's big data ka logo? It's an elephant. It's a big elephant. So the logo itself suggests, you know, how big the data is. Now, what is this Hadoop? You know, okay, what happens is, like, this is the technology behind distributed computing. The concept, okay, the framework, I should say, the right word would be framework, which we use, which we perform. One of the frameworks is Hadoop, you know, which performs these tasks. And now again, why over Red Hat Linux? You know, Linux is an open source, you know, and even distributed computing, or say Big Data Hadoop, is an open source concept. So it works well, it is more secured, and you'll be able to implement the clusters on a very smoother manner. So that's the reason we have inculcated Red Hat Linux platform into this. So now if I go in detail, the global trainings included are Big Data Hadoop, which is basically a cloud era thing, with Red Hat certified system administrator and Red Hat certified engineer. So you can imagine within this a single module package, you'll be getting 3 global trainings. Now, when you talk about the detailed course content about these programs, it's very much available on my website. I'll just help you. Where is it? You go up and these are the training programs. You know, with Red Hat, you would have these Red Hat, you know, I'm sorry, again, it's Red Hat, okay, RHCSA and RHCE, and you move down with Big Data Hadoop and you have this Cloudera Big Data Admin Program. So once you click on these, you'll be getting the detailed course content. So the entire course content would be covered in detail in this program. Okay, again, I move down. Okay, the description describes, you know, basically what are we going to do, and there are words like, you know, version 1, version 2, Hadoop framework, HDFS, what's all this? Okay, just an overview about everything. The latest version which is there is version 2. Like probably LinuxWorld is the first one who started imparted training on version 2, and that is called as a Yarn framework. The name of the framework for version 2 is Yarn framework. Now, what is this HDFS? What happens is, like, the HDFS basically is all about, it's again a technical word for you. Probably you would be wondering, you know, in detail, what do you mean by this and how do you perform it and all those things. So let me just explain you to give an overview about what HDFS is. Okay, simple language to make you understand. Okay, what happens is, like, have you tried saving a file of, you know, 1 GB? You would have, definitely, single file, you know. What happens is, like, inner facts, some inner facts about your laptop is, like, your CPU is at a very good processor, you know, even your RAM is sufficient, 1 GB, and your RAM would be definitely much more than that. Now, what is that slow thing? You know, when you try copying a file, you would have noticed that your computer becomes a bit slow, your laptop starts working a bit slower. It's because of the hard disk, you know. So what happens is, like, the hard disk process a bit slow, and automatically the entire processing works slowly. So that's the reason when you copy a file, your entire laptop works very slowly. Now what happens is, like, if I start saving data like this, you know, on Facebook, you know, you have so much of data which is saved, on Twitter, on Google and all, probably it will take hours and hours for me to, you know, save the data, manipulate the data, process the data and all. So what happens is, like, with the help of this HDFS system, a file is being saved in various parts. Say example, a file is distributed into various parts and it's saved on various computers. Okay, and while you're retrieving it also, you quickly get the file, because, you know, all the computer systems process themselves and they give you the file. Similar is the concept which, you know, the Gmail even works on, even Dropbox works on, even Google Drive works on. So that's the concept of HDFS. What's this Pig and Hive? These are basically frameworks, you know. These are called as map-reduce frameworks. It's in easy languages and kind of an SQL style language. And what is our edge base? That is NoSQL for Hadoop. And what is Oozie? Oozie is basically, there is a concept of Oozie. Oozie is basically for job scheduling. You know, it's a kind of a job scheduler for doing this. Now, what is the prerequisite? The prerequisite, basically, we don't need anything as a prerequisite because obviously we will be taking you from the very scratch. You know, only thing required, obviously, you need to be really enthusiastic. You need to be curious to learn new things. Only then you'll be able to proceed ahead. And we'll be taking you from the very scratch of Red Hat, which is, you know, Red Hat Linux will be taking care of, and then the entire Big Data Hadoop program. Now, you would be wondering, you know, where is big data being used? Why should I do this? Is it going to be really of my interest? Will it be helping me out? Yes, it will be. Just for your reference, you know, what you can see is like, you can just go up. There is something like, you know, blogs, you know, which my company people writes about it. So you click on this blogs. Okay, and you know, just search here by writing the keywords Hadoop. Once you click here by writing Hadoop, there would be few various blogs and just a basic information. Yes, here it is. How are untagged or unstructured huge amount of data managed? Just click on this, and basically this is a very general blog which will give you kind of, it is like, you know, the data is being gathered at one place to make you understand what it is. First important thing, you know, who manages huge amount of data sheet of big elephant, you know. So basically, where is it used? It's used in Google, Facebook, Twitter, IBM, Apple, and all the other Fortune 500 companies. So your scope for applying for various companies opens up, you know, because this is the concept which on which, you know, maximum of the big companies are working, and I'm very sure everybody is dreaming to work in a good company. Now you move down. I'm just taking you through this here. What I was saying is like, you know, they announced the warehouse grows by roughly half a PB per day. I was talking about this, correct? What's the data which Facebook is, you know, processing and getting and everything. So this is my data on November 8, 2012. So this is just an overview. You can go through everything in detail, which will give you all the details as in, you know, what it is, how it is, and when will we be processing, and that's how it is. This is just an overview about the entire blog. I go back to my tab, okay, and I go back to my home. Yes, and I was here, you know, I'm sorry, again, internship and my winter industrial training program. Okay, yes, I'm back here. So this is all about the program. Now you would be wondering, you know, who will be teaching me this? You know, do you really have someone who can teach me all of this? Who can actually let me know what the implementation is? Yes, my instructor, your mentor, your guide is the kind of a first certified Cloudera in the entire North India. He has been working on big data projects since long. You'll not believe it. Maximum PhD and MTech people who are working on this big data analysis have taken him as an external guide, and he has guided n number of people in this domain. So you would get the actual feel, you know, and he is the one who has since worked with various companies on this domain. So he really knows what is the actual use of the technology in the market. Trust me, believe me, as per the entire survey, as per the entire things which even I have been doing since long, this is the real happening technology of the day, you know. When you will be implementing it, you will be getting those goosebumps, you know. Oh wow, how did this happen? Oh wow, how did that happen? You know, these kind of questions would be there. And believe me, these are the technologies which you should really work on for securing your future from the career perspective. And there are many more, you know. You can see many of my other module packages which I'll be discussing in my next videos. There would be a kind of each video for my each package which will be giving you the details about it. So obviously my next video would be about my, you know, cloud computing video, which will give you an overview about what cloud computing is and how do we go about. Okay, one last thing which I would like to talk about is, you know, this program will take me or will lead me to what kind of a profile, you know. If you're looking out for a profile of data analytics, data mining, this is the start to it. This is where you start from, okay? And in such a short span, definitely you'll be learning many things, and that's the reason we call this as a module package, wherein we devote many number of hours and you just need to have the curiosity to learn things. So my next video will be discussing about what cloud computing is, how do we go about, what's new in that. So stay tuned for my next video. Bye bye, take care, have a good day.